That's king status.
King status. Can I tell you guys about a super exciting weekend I had?
Yeah.
I last minute went to a comedy fest in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Chattanooga
ended up being like one of the best decisions I've ever made. I don't know if we'll keep this in, but I just want to share it. Made insane amount of contacts, had so much fun, hung out with so many great comedians. Comedian Shane Torres. Do you guys know who I'm talking about?
Nope.
Yeah, I've seen his.
He goes viral every couple of years for his defense of his bit about Guy Fieri.
Yeah, which is actually really funny.
Yeah, but he gave me his phone number.
Nice.
I stayed in his hotel room.
Nice.
Yeah, just like, he wants to come to 123. Fucking
nice.
It just like was such a cool weekend for me. I got booked because of this weekend. I got booked to perform in Indianapolis in January. Fucking nice. I got offered spots in Atlanta.
Fuck. Hell yeah, dude. Dude, the reach of Cody is growing.
Yeah. I told a bunch of people about the podcast too. Passed out a bunch of stickers.
That's all that matters.
Your comedy career is but a side road.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's my detour. Main focus, but
no, that's awesome, dude. That sounds awesome, like man. You got a fucking schedule lined up, and I'm sure it'll just keep growing from there.
Yeah. Feels good. I feel good.
Fuck yeah, you should.
And so then she squirted.
Nah.
Crazy. Hey, don't you talk about my mom that way?
Hey, dude, squirting is not a negative thing in any way.
Yeah, but I don't want to hear about my mom.
That wasn't the joke. The joke was that since nobody heard the beginning part of your punchline,
I know. I was just being dumb. I was just being dumb. I was no-anding you. I wasn't being a good improviser.
Took the wind right out of my punchline, asshole. But speaking of assholes,
can't disrespect families. It's
not
good,
dude. You can always disrespect families. I stay disrespected families.
It's not something you should do, unless you're trying to get the throne. Then it's okay.
That was okay. That was okay. Yeah. Welcome to Comics and Chronic. This is a cooler episode because we're not covering comic book, but we're going to cover House of the Dragon on HBO.
Yeah.
The prequel to Game of Thrones. And
yeah, who would have fucking thought that I'd be so hyped for a Game of Thrones prequel show right after that fucking season 8 fucking stupidest ending to a show ever.
Yeah. Season 8
anti-Soprano ending. That's how it felt.
Yeah. Season 8 for me is honestly like one of the worst endings to a TV show I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it started to get downhill like 2 seasons before season 8. Like it was kind of declining in quality.
I would even just say season right before season 8, but definitely those last 2.
Once it went past the actual source material of the books, I noticed a pretty big dip.
It was sloppy.
Yeah, sloppy toppy.
Yeah.
Sloppy dice drink twice.
And not But House of the Dragon is fucking awesome, man. I went into it being pretty like, all right, here we go. Like, if this doesn't grab me, I'm not going to fucking watch it.
Yeah.
And literally from episode 1, I was like, oh no, this shit's dope. And each episode gets like better and better. I'm just like, oh yeah, they kind of like, they got me back.
Yeah, they killed it.
They killed it. Like
at first, I found the insane lapses in time jarring, and I didn't like it. But by the end of the series, I was like, I don't know that I would have changed anything.
I think they pulled it off really well because even I was like, all right, like, this is pretty ballsy to constantly change the actors out. But for me, I was like, sweet, cool.
Yeah, that was different, right? Like that, and that also made it feel different from Game of Thrones. Like the way, like, yes, this is a Game of Thrones prequel, but watching the show and it made me like, I was like, all right, you know what? Season 8 might have sucked, but I still really liked Game of Thrones up until that moment. So it made me like, you know, the lore and everything again.
I mean, look, Game of Thrones is still, even with its weak seasons, is still like a good show. It's a cultural phenomenon. It really was like dank.
Yeah, so much so that I'm now rewatching Game of Thrones. It's just like I want to.
And it's really good until you get to the last 2 seasons.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, House of the Dragon rules, man.
Yeah, well, but I guess what I'm saying, so House of the Dragon, I feel like the episodes don't necessarily feel like yeah, it does feel like Game of Thrones, but it also is different because of the way they deal with time. Like,
it's its own thing. I don't need it to be like, there doesn't need to be.
Exactly.
It's almost like, I don't really watch the show, but like even with like, okay, True Detective or fucking American Horror Story, like, dude, now with Game of Thrones, let's do an anthology. Like after this story arc is done with House of Dragon, dude, let's do another time of Game of Thrones lore and history and geography. You know what I mean? Like you could make Game of Thrones into an anthology. Honestly, just keep doing different timelines and stories of different people. Go oversea into Essos.
Yeah.
No, I'm super into that idea. I love everything Game of Thrones does. I love that at first I was worried that it was going to try too hard to capture the magic of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I don't think it does, though. It tries to be its own
thing. Doesn't. It does.
Yeah.
It tries to be its own thing. It's like a good combination of like political drama and like, you know what I mean, family drama mixed with like, there's like still a decent amount of action.
I mean, it's no surprise Cody likes House of the Dragon because it's about a family being torn apart.
True.
Loves that.
You know what a good drinking game is for House of the Dragon is anytime somebody gives birth, you take a shot.
Nice.
You'll die. There's so many birthing scenes, and they're like, I'm glad that there are. They're intense as fuck, though. And a lot of people die, whether it's the baby or the people giving birth to them.
Also, just like so many fucking babies being born.
And dying. Like a lot of babies not surviving.
Dude, honestly, House of the Dragon, I'm just now realizing this. House of the Dragon solves a problem I have with lots of modern cinema.
Is there
not enough kids die.
Oh God.
Yeah, not enough kids die. Not enough families. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't happy endings for these folk, you know?
No, it's definitely not gonna be.
You know what I do like I love about the show is that like is there any fan of the show that is team Queen Alicent?
No.
Like you can't really be behind her ever.
Or Otto.
Or Otto. See, I like them. I think Otto, like those actors, they're great characters. They're not like good people.
Yeah, they're compelling characters. Yeah, they're just monsters, and you don't want to root for them.
I like Otto Hightower a lot. I think it's cool to see Rhys Ifan as that guy. Like he kills it as Otto Hightower.
I didn't realize that's how he was going to be, and that's super cool. I kind of thought he was going to be like a do-gooder at first.
Me too. I thought he was going to be kind of like dweebly, but he's actually like he's a cunning little fuck.
Yeah.
Wait, so you guys don't think anyone could be?
I'd be really curious to see if anyone is Team Queen Alicent or the Greens. No one's on the green side.
Yeah, Greens versus Blacks.
I'm I feel Rhaenyra. Like I would literally bend the knee to Queen Rhaenyra in no time.
Ooh, see, I was thinking about it, and I feel like it's kind of
you like, would be an Alicent supporter, you green bitch.
Well, not when I was watching the show, but then I was thinking about it. Right, like you can make a case for her side, though. Like, there's definitely a case why Aegon should be king.
Ooh, like, not only if you like are lame.
But it's just the Game of Thrones. Everyone is always going to make up their own shit to get power. Like no one person is really ever in the right. Like the Targaryens themselves.
It doesn't matter what even who's in the right. Like, well, I mean, Queen Rhaenyra.
Well, no one ever is.
Queen Rhaenyra is in the right.
Yeah.
Viserys named her his heir, and he did not say for Aegon to be the prince. He was just babbling about the prophecy of the prince that'll be promised, which I'll get into because it's the one thing I do have a gripe with.
Oh.
And I'll tell you why. But
Azor Ahai.
Like, I don't know. I just think.
Well, he thought he was talking to Rhaenyra. He didn't realize it was Alicent when he was dying.
Yeah, for sure. True. I agree completely. And also, when he does die, right before he dies, and you hear his last breath, he like looks up and he says, "My love," and I feel like he sees his wife.
Oh yeah.
Like not even Alicent. Like he sees his wife that he loved. Who does?
The actor said that he improvised that. Like that was his idea.
That's cool, dude. That actor,
Yeah, right.
Patty Considine
So
as
good.
Viserys was awesome.
So
Awesome.
good.
The king was a really cool character. Like he was great.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for him, and it's like
Yeah,
you feel
'cause he's
bad
just like-
feeling bad for a king, but it's like, damn, dude, this guy is like he just wants peace, man.
Yeah.
Like he's not.
He's just kind of like not trying to be mean, but just kind of a simple softy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
a people pleaser. You know what I mean? He wants his things to be the way he wants them, but he wants everybody happy above anything else.
Yeah, I agree.
And that sucks. That does not make a good king. You know, like
I agree.
it's his fault. Everything that House of the Dragon is going to be going forward is a Dance of the Dragons.
Yeah.
And that's going to fucking tear Westeros apart. Like it's like about to start.
It's already
and like
tearing
it's all his fault. It's all from his actions and decisions from him like
Or
not
indecision.
like fixing this or indecision rather, right? Great
Yeah.
point. So like yeah, while he's like not a bad person like morally, like that's why like I like his character like
He doesn't make for a strong king.
yeah, it's not called Game of Thrones, but it's always going to be about that.
Yeah.
And it's always about, and like he played it the wrong way is what
Anthony
I'm saying.
speaks like an usurper.
Yeah,
I think we're the three of us. Cody, I'm very curious to see who are you claiming for? Is it Alicent or Rhaenyra?
Oh, I'm 100%. I'm 100% Rhaenyra.
Ooh, that was a pause.
Yeah,
I
that
didn't
was
know
a
who
pause.
you
I
were
was
gonna say.
You lick spittle.
Hold on, I never said I was Team Alicent though. I never said that. It's just that Team Alicent has some cool players like Aemond. I like Aemond. He's kind of
I like
badass
Aemond too. Actually, Aemond's a really cool
Yeah.
character. And he,
You're
dude,
right? Like
I watched that episode where he takes Vhagar, and dude, all my friends were like, they're like, "Oh, what a bitch, man!" I was like, honestly, that was kind of the exact opposite of a bitch move. Like, he could have gotten murdered by
100%. Yeah, no,
no, it was badass.
It was bad.
Yeah.
He mounted that shit.
I just wish he would have got murdered by.
Dude, then they should have.
Vhagar.
Like, he was even when the kids jumped him, and you're like, that was really cool. Like, I like when the two girls and the two boys are beating on the shit out of him, but he still fights back, and he's about to like kill that motherfucker with a rock until.
yeah.
Dude, like slash.
No, I like that. Like that's a good point. Like the show doesn't like it's a show, so you're like, yeah, of course he's gonna get the dragon and it's okay. But like, especially in the books, they like describe it like no, like you don't just like get a dragon. Like just the fact that the dragon accepted him is a big deal.
Exactly. I agree 100%, man.
Real recognize real. That's all that is right there.
Yeah, I agree with that. And also in the book, like, dude, the dragons are as likely to turn on you, even if you are their rider. In the book,
Yeah,
how many
exactly.
times does Drogon incinerate Daenerys, but she doesn't get burned because she's Targaryen?
Yeah, exactly.
Drogon stays turning on Daenerys. So it's like,
Yeah.
the book's like, dragons are super volatile creatures.
Yeah, they are.
Like, you can almost tame them, but like barely.
Yeah.
And you see how big Vhagar is, like, and he's a little kid, and he fucking
It's
does
cool
it.
that Vhagar is one of the original 3 dragons that Aegon and his sisters came over with and conquered.
Yep, he's old as fuck.
He's the oldest one that's living.
Yeah.
Velaryon is dead. That's his skull in the big, mount under the red cape.
Velaryon the Dread.
Velaryon the Black Dread. Say it, the Black Dread, Anthony.
The Black Dread.
Now you want to be progressive.
Sorry to all the dragons out there.
Dude.
I was going to say something. Oh, okay. I was going to say the show does a really good job of going back to people like Aemond, where it's like, yeah, like it was fucked up that he took their dead mom's dragon. But okay, like even like Criston Cole, like he's kind of a bitch, but he's only a bitch in character. He is by no means a fucking like punk. Like if you draw a sword on him, he'll draw back and he'll probably fucking kill you.
Yeah,
He's a crazy
Criston
motherfucker.
Cole
Yeah,
was a
he's-
mean fighter.
Dude, when he killed Lannister at the end
Yeah.
in the penultimate episode.
Oh, you mean when he?
I was thinking of the wedding episode when he punched that guy in the face to death.
Yeah, he beats that guy to death.
I was thinking of when they were speaking, when that, what's his name, Lannister was speaking out against Alicent. And
Oh, no,
It wasn't
Beesbury.
Lannister, it was Beesbury.
And he slams his face on the table.
Oh, yeah.
he slams
he's like-
his
Yeah.
head on the table on
he's
the
like,
marble.
sit down. Bah!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I love it. Oh, everyone's like, dude, did you just fucking...
And then they have to continue the meeting like nothing happened.
Like there's not a corpse in front of them.
Yeah.
I was glad that the Kingsguard like took his cloak off and was like, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude's always been dope as hell. I hope that's not the end of his story.
Yeah, I hope we see him again.
Yeah, he reminded me of Barristan the Bold.
Oh, for sure. Hard Barristan Selmy vibes.
Right.
I also liked when, I don't know if it was Eric or Auric, but when the one like was loyal to Rhaenyra, I was like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, I think that's Eric. That's Eric.
Yeah. He was cool.
He brought the crown to her.
Yeah, the king's crown to her.
Yeah.
Viserys' crown.
There should be a really cool moment with him in the next season with the brothers.
Like they fight to the death.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's a spoiler for what may happen. What's going to happen next season?
We can edit that out. I mean,
yeah. It is cool though. In the books, they're like, and we could edit this out too, but in the books, they're like, one way has it that the brothers ran into each other on Dragonstone, and when they saw each other, they were like, there were tears in their eyes, and they knew that they had to fight. They
confessed their love for each other as they fought.
Yeah.
And then another way is like, no, they were like trying to kill each other.
Yeah, fuck you. Like they just like killed each other.
Yeah.
So that's the cool thing about the show, right? So the show is based on Fire and Blood, which is not like a straightforward Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire book. It's just kind of like the history of the Targaryens. There's some dialogue. It doesn't read like a story, but some parts do. It's just it's like a maester reading like the encyclopedia or something like that. But like the sources it has for history, because this is someone in like the far future of Westeros telling the story, will sometimes be like, the event happened this way, or maybe it happened this way based on this source. And what the show does is kind of either combine them or like pretty much give you what would be the most truthful interpretation of what the book does, which but it in itself I think is really interesting because it's different than Game of Thrones. Like it interprets things it's in its own way, but in a way that makes sense. Like some scenes in the book, like one of the best scenes in the show, fucking Daemon and the fucking what's that guy's name? The crab feeder?
In the Stepstones when he fought the crab feeder?
Yeah. That's like a sentence or two in the books, but that fucking battle is fucking crazy in the show.
Dude, when Daemon one-man army storms that beach, like Normandy, and fucking kills everyone. That was
so cool.
That was awesome.
Daemon's a terrible person, but I love Daemon in that scene. He's just so badass.
I disagree, man. I think from like the beginning, like you're like, oh, Daemon's going to be clearly like a villain or a bad person or I think Daemon's one of the more like complex people, because there's moments where like he's super cold and ruthless, but there's also moments where like he clearly does care about. I loved when he helped King Viserys up when Viserys starts to fall as he's climbing. And like he picks him up, and the king is like, "Leave me alone."
That scene was badass.
Yeah, Daemon's like,
that scene was also improv. Apparently, like it wasn't supposed to happen. Like he drops the crown, and then Matt Smith went to pick it up, and they did that scene. Apparently, like it wasn't planned to do that.
Good. That scene, like Daemon,
which makes it feel real.
I don't think Daemon's like that cut and dry like a scumbag.
No, you want to know who Daemon is? I got it perfect.
Who is it?
Daemon is the Vegeta of House of the Dragon.
yes, exactly.
Very accurate.
Vegeta vibes,
definitely
for sure.
Hard Vegeta vibes. Dude, also, Daemon's dragon is sick.
Yeah,
the blood worm.
His dragon looks the most unique out of all of them.
Yeah, it's freaky looking.
It's weird. It's like oddly like thin and long, but then earlier on in that the crab feeder episode, it might even be the episode before. But it's the scene where Daemon and the Velaryon fleet, they're attacking the beach. And you see Daemon on his dragon, and there's that one dude who the crab feeder had just nailed up. And he's like, "Oh, Prince Daemon, save me, my prince." And his dragon just stomps him like Jurassic Park style.
Yeah.
That shit was awesome. He's like, "Oh, yes, save me, my prince." And Daemon just murks him.
Boom.
Yeah.
It's also scenes like that remind you how big the fucking dragons are. It's hard to it's easy to forget sometimes. Like you're like, damn, the dragons are fucking huge.
Dude, except for this finale episode with that little bitch dragon dog, Syrax. Dog, Syrax.
R.I.P. Luke.
Bitch.
No, was it Arrax?
Was it Arrax? Or
I thought Syrax was Daemon
from Mortal Kombat.
Caraxes. Yeah. I don't remember all the dragons' names.
There's Meraxes, there's Syraxes. Which one was this dragon, the little baby dragon that Vhagar killed?
I think it was Arrax.
Yeah, I think you're right. Okay, this is the one thing I didn't like about that scene. Because, like, both of them lose control of their dragon, and they're like, "No, listen to me." And Vhagar, like, chomps it in half.
Yeah.
And he's like, clearly Aemond, like, he even looks, he's like, "Well, I didn't mean to." But it's like, in the book, didn't they mean to fight to the death? Like, there wasn't no accident about it.
I think they want us to like Aemond more for some reason in the show.
I agree
because
with that. Because in the book, I was like,
I feel like they should have made Aemond be like, fuck you.
yeah, in the book, it's like, no, Aemond intentionally kills him.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad you brought that up.
In the book, he gouges out his eyes or whatever. Like whenever they find the body, his eyes are cut out or something like that. But in the show, they made it an accident. But I watched the making of after the episode or whatever. The little. And they said that was like symbolism for, because Aemond basically has to choose now. Do I not have control of my dragon, or is like, and it's basically him shedding the last of his like youthful innocence and humanity.
Yeah. So the show definitely, like I said, it interprets the book in different ways. But yeah, I agree that like, I see. Okay,
like,
I understand why they
like, why are they making this accidental? It's like, they get in a fight and
Yeah.
he loses. Vhagar wins.
Also, to show that, because in the very first episode, Viserys says to say that the Targaryens are in complete control of the dragons is an illusion. That's like,
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
he says that in the first episode, and so I think this is to show that like while people control these dragons, they're highly intelligent beings that like aren't without free mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they're also magical beings. Like we don't know what their motives are. They're literally
and Vhagar is just trained in war, so he can tell even if what's his name Aemon's intentions weren't to kill Vhagar. At the very least, is like at least like he's like Aemon's angry. This is how
predator.
Yeah, he's like, Aemon's angry. This is how I respond to protect him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's kind of like he's like, no, but it
like
could be like if you know if you know your dog's biting someone, just being like, hey, no, it's not good. Like, what is that doing? Like,
Vhagar, I told you, don't murder him. Dude, that was awesome. That was awesome, honestly. Brutal as fuck. I was like, oh my God. I don't even know, does the kid die from the fall? Did he also get bit in that massive chomp? Like, what? How did he... Because he just like tears into
regardless he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, it was a pretty serious case of getting bitten by a dragon, so I don't think he survived that one regardless of what happened.
But that whole scene when he's flying in the storm and you see how massive Vhagar is, you're just like, oh, dude, even the scene where Aemond as a kid takes Vhagar, I don't know, I was a big fan of like, I like seeing dragons.
Yeah, for sure.
I was listening to a Q&A with George R. R. Martin, and literally someone's like, what is your like motivation behind like your use of dragons, because I know other fantasy writers use dragons, but what's your use? And George R. R. Martin literally is like weird nerdy voice, he's like, dragons are cool. That's all he says, and it's like, hey, you're right, dragons are cool.
Yeah, dude. I loved the scene when fucking Aegon is announced king and Rhaenys bursts through the temple.
Oh, dude, that was cool. I know a lot of people, they loved it visually. Plot-wise, they're like, why did she just kill them right there? You could have easily ended this war.
But she has a good line in the next episode. She was like, it's not my job to start this war. It's not my war to start. There you go. Yeah. And that's a smart move. Rhaenys is really smart. Like from the first episode, and like she acts like, and you know what you get for the most part, that Rhaenys is like, yeah, it should be her instead of Viserys because she's the oldest child.
The queen who never was.
The queen who never was. But they do that whole thing, and in the first episode you see like they choose Viserys to be king, and it sets the precedent that the oldest daughter shouldn't inherit the crown. It goes to the son.
Yeah.
And so she's resigned to her fate basically, but like throughout the show, it's brought up and she's like, I've moved past it. And still to the end, she's like still like, hovering near the throne, and still she's not like grabbing it. Like it's not something she's decided she doesn't want it, which is cool. But her whole deal is what, sets the precedent that Rhaenyra doesn't necessarily get the throne.
But then she backs Rhaenyra.
Right. Well, now she's backing Rhaenyra. Well, now like that's her choice, because like why would she back those people? That wouldn't make sense. It's, like it would not make sense for Rhaenys to back
The High Towers.
The High Towers, right? Exactly, or Aegon.
Dude, Aegon is going to be a monster.
But I'm saying I just like Rhaenys as a character because she's like you know where she stands, and she's not like Ned Stark-ish, but you know where her allegiance is, and you kind of know that she's not like backstabbing anybody, which is cool because everyone does that in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Also, how about that fucking little freak pervert Clubfoot Larys?
Fucking Larys.
Yeah, what's that dude's deal?
And he's just a little pervert.
He's Tarantino-esque.
Yeah.
He's the Quentin Tarantino of Westeros.
But dude, he gets shit done. He kills what's her name and his brother and dad.
His brother and father he murdered.
He murdered them, and then he murdered the White Worm or whatever.
No, he didn't murder with the White Worm.
Yeah, because remember, her house goes up in smoke.
Oh, you're right. There is a fire in her house.
Right after that talk.
Yeah,
right
basically, Alicent's like, all right, jerk it to my feet if you take care of it. And then the next scene, you just see, boom, up in flames.
And that was her place.
Totally
right?
forgot that.
Yeah.
You're right. Good catch.
Yeah, you don't fuck with Larys. He's like Varys. He's just Varys.
Like Varys and Peter Baelish and Ramsay Bolton
combined. Yeah, they did the fusion dance.
Yeah, with a crippled foot.
Yeah,
I hope he dies. Yeah. Honestly. I don't like him.
He's the kind of guy that won't die right away. You know,
no, they're gonna keep him around because he's too smart for his own good.
Yeah,
he's a bitch.
Just like they'll keep Ser Criston around.
Yeah. Well, for a little while.
I want to see Ser Criston fight. He's sick. He's a good fighter.
Yeah.
He's like one of those characters. Like you hate Jaime Lannister in the books, but he's also considered one of the best swordsmen in all of Westeros. So.
Yeah. I was just going to say, Jaime Lannister, I think, mentions Criston Cole a bunch of times as like a Kingsguard knight, like he highly regards.
Nice. That's cool.
Like he was one of the best.
Hey, he is. Dude, that scene where he's training Aemond in the yard with the mace.
Oh, that was cool.
That was sick. I was like, oh, dude is like, yeah, Aemon's badass, man.
Aemon's a great fighter.
Aemon's a great fighter. He also has one of the coolest lines in that episode where he does take Vhagar, and there's that whole tense scene in Driftmark, and he's like, "It's okay, Mom." He's like, "An eye for a dragon is worth it."
Yeah.
And then there's a later scene where Sir Otto's talking to Alicent, and he's like, "The boy is right. He's like 1,000 eyes would be worth a dragon."
Aemon's smart. He's a good fighter. I think he deserves to be king. That's why it kind of makes me not 100% Team Rhaenyra because Aemond.
He has the largest dragon. He D-blocked that shit. Like,
yep.
Yeah. I don't know.
His only strike right now is that, and he didn't even, and so in the show, that's what I'm saying. I feel like the show wants us to like him even more because in the books, like, he's more ruthless. In the show, it's kind of like, whoopsie. So, like, now I'm like, there's no strikes against him, really. He's just kind of an asshole, but, he wants to be king. So he's aiming for that.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with Queen Rhaenyra, dog.
Yeah, go Team Black.
Yeah,
Queen Rhaenyra, who's lying about her sons who are bastards. Like, we know they're bastards 100%.
What'd you just say,
dude? Anthony, somebody knocks on Anthony's door.
We were in the Queen's court right now. Me and Cody would start swinging on you for saying blasphemous lies.
Yeah, dude. Sorry,
Grace,
Anthony.
I will not sit here listen to such barbarous
I feel
claims.
very strongly about
Sit
this.
down.
Sit down. How do you accidentally murder someone like that?
Oh, that was no accident.
Oh, that was definitely not. That's what I'm saying. Criston Cole is like kind of a monster, dude.
Yeah, he is.
Also, he's
Fuck
a
Criston
bitch.
Cole.
Yeah, fuck Criston Cole because my man got laid by Rhaenyra one time.
And let it define his entire life.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah. Dude, he's that dude that's going to be like in his 40s. Like, one time I smashed the princess, bro. I swear.
He's like, shut up, Ser Criston, you bitch.
Yeah, he's like that high school football star that's always trying to relive his glory days.
I used to fuck the hottest girl in high school. Whatever, dude. Yeah, no, he let the pussy just like embitter him for life.
Yeah.
I don't see Queen Alicent giving up that sweet nana to him.
Yeah, no. But she is letting fucking Larys jerk it to her feet. So
That's true.
So Criston's basically a cuck.
Dude, definitely. I feel like really bad for Alicent. Her life, like from a kid, her dad forces her.
You feel bad for her?
Dude, because she didn't want to do any of this shit. I'm talking about, dude, she was literally fucking groomed by her own father to be the king's like consort as a child.
Yeah.
Like, nah, like she didn't, like she even says in this finale episode, she says to Hightower, Otto, she's like I ever had a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And even in the books, it says that she has to do that for Viserys' father. So like this really fucking old, decrepit king, like when she was even younger. So it's just like even more fucked up. So yeah, Queen Alicent does have a fucked up life.
Yeah, she does have a fucked up life. Here's one of my gripes with the show is that it's pretty heavily implied that so long as the male is Targaryen, the kids will always have white hair. But Jon Snow's father is Rhaegar, and he has the blackest hair you've ever seen in your life.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So it's like the show is weird. It implies that it doesn't matter. Even Rhaenyra can't give birth to white-haired kids. So it's like, how do genetics work in this world exactly? The book is big on genetics.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good point. Maybe by that point it's too diluted and the Stark genes overrule the
maybe.
I don't know. It's still possible. It's not like out of the realm of possibility, but I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying though. Like there's such a heavy emphasis on it that it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. No, it's cool. Okay, so another cool character, the sea snake, Corlys.
Yeah,
he's a cool character.
Corlys.
Yeah, hate his brother.
His brother's
Daemon.
He got his head chopped off.
Dude, that scene was literally like when I first saw it, I was like, nice.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit.
Brutal.
Daemon.
Dude, see, that would be you, Anthony. I'd be like, say it. And you'd be like, her children, she's a whore.
Yeah.
Cody would slice him.
My point is, with all that, why do I even care? If they're fictional characters, I can say whatever the fuck I want. You tricked me for my high brain for a second. but
Sir Otto Highbrain over here.
But you get what I mean? Like anyone can make a claim to the throne, but everyone has reasons why they should and shouldn't be. You know, like she has bastard sons that are going to take over after her. Like everyone sees their bastards, so they're like, what the fuck? She also
has Aegon with her brother.
Oh yeah. So she has those other kids, right? Or
she
true
does have another
Targaryens.
kid. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Alicent even has another kid they haven't shown, but she mentions him. But he's like in Old Town, I think. And he has a dragon.
Yeah.
So there's more kids with more dragons flying about.
There's a bunch of dragons on Dragonstone. And they also say there's 5 wild dragons or 3 wild dragons that haven't been tamed yet.
Yep. Yeah. So that's going to be a plot point in the next season. I don't want to spoil that either, but that's like a huge thing where they need to get people to ride those dragons.
I don't know anything about. I haven't read the books, so shut your pie holes.
Yeah, I haven't finished the books or anything. Yeah, I don't want to talk too much. But fucking here's another thing. Here's another thing that's so like. There's not a lot of that in this show, although like Game of Thrones had a lot of it, but
a lot of sex.
Yeah, like.
Lots of sex.
Like
anal.
Lots of sex and lots of child labor. Like lots of giving birth.
Child fighting in this one.
Ooh, yeah. Dude, that shit was
Aegon goes to like the child.
That shit was sick.
Aegon's the Kevin Spacey of Westeros, apparently.
Oh, yeah, right.
Oh. And they were just like, you just saw like tiny offspring of Aegon just fighting to the death.
Yeah, that was weird. He had like a bastard there and flea bottom.
Well, apparently Aegon was like always there, and he also like his proclivity, like they're like he likes kids. Like they don't say blatantly, but he makes kids fight. And then he like rapes them or something. Like he's the darkest one. Like that's why like the people that like Queen Alicent knows like he's like the biggest fuck up, and like that's why they find him there.
I don't like that he's like less of an. It feels like they're painting him as less of a monster and more of a dunce.
Yeah, but like he's just like fucked up in his own ways. You know, like this. Like he definitely shouldn't be king. Like Aemond knows all this. Like Aemond's not like The other thing about Aemond also is like in Game of Thrones world, like. Being if you kill one of your siblings, you're a kinslayer.
Yeah.
That's like the worst possible thing you could be. Like Kingslayer is bad too, but Kinslayer's the worst. Like you're cursed. Like people are like, oh fuck, like
It's true.
you're just a piece of shit. Like there's no shittier.
Yeah, in the books they always do talk about like if you're a kinslayer, you're cursed. Like you're just a monster.
Yep.
Not even.
Yep. And like the gods will come for you. Like the stranger's coming for you now. Like you don't kill your brothers, you don't kill your sisters, your family.
Same thing in the books. They really emphasize not harming people under your roof, especially once you've had salt and bread.
Like that's
Right.
why
Only a real scumbag kills someone they took in as under their hospitality.
yeah, that's why they waited to fight until that's why Aemond had to wait to fight him till after they left the Baratheon house.
That's true. He did say not under my roof. No one will be killed.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always like rules everyone follows, but you know, they're also breaking them left and right.
Dude, but in order to play the Game of Thrones and win, you gotta break the rules.
Yeah, of course.
Or maybe just bend them or change them.
It was really cool just seeing like all of the old representations of the
Houses.
famous houses.
Yeah, like one of the Lannisters reminded me of Tyrion, like the way the guy was talking. It seemed like he was maybe trying to do a Tyrion impression.
That guy was cool. I liked him as Jason Lannister or Janice Lannister.
Yeah.
I liked him. I really liked Larys Strong's father until he died. Like I thought he was that dude was a good hand, you know?
Yeah.
He just gave sound advice.
Yeah, I liked him. Yeah, but it was crazy. It's crazy that Larys murdered him. Burnt him and his son alive.
Yeah, with mutes that had their tongues ripped out. That's why they're like these mute assassins.
Yeah.
And they were at Harrenhal, and he becomes Lord of Harrenhal, and Harrenhal's cursed. It's another cursed place. You don't want Harrenhal.
You don't want Harrenhal, yeah.
And it always proves the point. Like if you're there, fucked up shit is happening to you. You're like getting murdered in some horrible way. That's like remember in Game of Thrones when Arya's there, like they're like, oh, it's haunted.
Yeah, that chapter in Game of Thrones is so cool.
That's cool. I just like that there's those connections there, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
I love this show.
Yeah, I love it too. I think it's like a much needed return.
Who are your favorite characters? Who's your favorite on the show? Honestly,
I'm gonna go like I would say Daemon.
yeah.
Like we haven't got enough of Aemon, but Daemon is just Matt Smith. Like I feel like I've seen him as Doctor Who, and he was all right, but like I feel like this is his role. Like he fucking killed it.
I like Rhaenyra the most, I think.
She's great.
I liked her too, and I've liked her like when she was the young her,
Yeah.
the old her.
Lil Rhaenyra.
Like her, the young her, she was cool. Yeah, young Rhaenyra was cool.
Yeah, they both did spectacular.
Yeah,
and like
both those actors
absolutely.
are great representations. They're like definitely my two favorite. They're definitely my favorite.
I would say, yeah, like Rhaenyra overall is definitely my favorite. Daemon is like, yeah, he's a cool fucking character.
Yeah, I would put. Yeah, I like Daemon too. He's probably my number two.
Dude, the episode where the king dies is probably my favorite with the king because that speech he gives at dinner when they're all together and he takes off his mask, like that's like some really good acting. That whole episode, even when he busts into the throne room and limps up the stairs, like that scene, I was like, fuck yeah, like he mustered the strength to support his daughter.
Yeah.
Dude, it was definitely one of those moments that TV gives you when you're like, that scene could get a room going.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, for sure.
Like, it's like,
People
what
would
the
get up.
fuck? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Powerful.
Yeah, that scene, what makes that scene even crazier is because they're all pretending to be amicable for him, but it's all about to go down, especially when Aemon says that strong line. Like, you're like, fuck.
Strong young men or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like how it's so easy to just shit on someone in Westeros while just saying like seemingly like very normal things.
So it's just like passive aggressive. Yeah.
Like disrespect is taken very seriously.
You know what was cool is at that scene with the dinner, Rhaenyra is sitting to the king's left and Alicent is to the king's right. And with Otto and her house to the left is Daemon and Rhaenyra. And the scene with Otto and Alicent is the rotting part of his face. And the scene where he like looks good and right at Rhaenyra at the dinner is with the complete part of his face.
Ooh.
What's Alicent's daughter's name? The one that's always speaking riddles. She's got
She
like
doesn't speak riddles. Actually, have you guys been paying attention? She predicts everything that happens in that episode or a few episodes
the beast
before.
but below the boards is talking about Vhagar and Aemon.
Yeah. Before that, she's actually playing with the dolls. or like a few episodes before that, it's the one where Aemond loses his eye after mounting Vhagar. She's playing with dolls and she talks about like a doll losing an eye or something. So like everything she says is like a low key prediction of shit.
Yeah, because her name's Helena, and her thing is like her dragon is called Dreamfire.
Dreamfire.
And I think Dreamfire is it someone else's dragon? I don't remember, but either way, so the reason the Targaryens are the only surviving dragon lords is because there was the Doom in Valyria, but one Targaryen would dream the future and they dreamed about the Doom. And so that made the Targaryens go to Westeros. And she kind of has that ability. But like this show is definitely not like, even though they mention Azor Ahai and stuff, like it's really not like the kind of show where like, it's just whatever you see is happening. There's no White Walkers coming. Like, it's not that.
Yeah.
It's like it's totally divorced from that part of Game of Thrones, but I think that's what makes it like more focused, and I like it's just about the political stuff.
Yeah,
like I like that.
Agreed.
Like if you have a dragon, you just basically have a nuke. Like I feel like that's what George R. R. Martin should have said. Like, what are dragons in your story? They're just fucking nukes. Because if you have a dragon, no one's fucking with you. But if everyone has dragons, then it's just War of the Dragons.
I mean, dude, I would have a dragon.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, in the end, she's like, I don't want to be the king of ash and bone or the queen.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think you guys would have a dragon,
Yeah.
Anthony?
If I could get one, sure, that would be fucking sick.
I mean, do you think you're worthy of mounting a dragon, of being a dragon rider?
Only true Targaryens could do it, so I don't know where.
Okay, better question. What house would you guys put each other in?
Oh, that is a good question.
Ooh,
Yeah.
This is a good one.
I'll give you guys my ratings for each of us.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay.
And then we can do, you
I
guys
like
can
this.
take turns doing the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anthony, I think I give you Corlos's house, the
It was the Velaryons.
Velaryon.
Velaryons?
Velaryons.
I could be Velaryon, okay.
Yeah, I would give you that just because like they tend, I don't know, they seem to want peace and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, or maybe not. They want control of the seas, but you know what I'm saying? Like
Well, if I see Anthony as a Velaryon, maybe it's just because of me seeing.
Because I'm not black.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, Anthony doesn't seem like one to like go head fast into war, is what I'm trying to say.
But then you see, I feel like the sea snake would. Like the sea
No,
snake
he
is
doesn't.
like-
He did. That's what fucked him up. He went battling in the Stepstones and he got fucking almost died and was out of the game for like 6 years.
Okay. Then who would you guys give Anthony's? Okay, well, I'll go second. Jake, you're gonna be a fucking Hightower, you dirty dogging bitch.
Hightower, no Hightower, dude.
You're cunning, and
That's fine, but I don't think I'm House Hightower.
what house do you think? I don't think you would be. I think Hightower suits you. I think you're more Hightower than like Targaryen.
No, I'm more Targaryen than Hightower.
I knew you were gonna opt for Targaryen. Of course, we were gonna give you.
Of course,
stuff.
Jake wants to be a Targaryen.
Yeah, of course. No, I guess. Well, of course. I guess everyone wants to be a Targaryen, right?
Yeah, of course.
I don't necessarily want to be a Targaryen.
Really?
I don't feel like I'd be a good fit to be a Targaryen, to be honest.
What would you put Cody as, Anthony?
See, I would put Cody either. So if we're just going by House of Dragon, like houses, like I would think Greyjoy, like something aquatic for Cody. But I feel like you could be Velaryon, like you could be the sea snake, the sea dog, Cody the sea dog.
I could see
I was gonna
myself
say
being.
if we're just going off of like I don't know, like looks, Cody like House Baratheon.
Yeah, Cody looks House Baratheon. Yeah.
Looks Baratheon. I was gonna say I feel like I'm more of a Stark than.
I disagree with that 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't give me Stark vibes at all. The Starks are so
Yeah.
stiff.
Yeah.
So I'm Baratheon then, huh?
I could see you as a.
Why do you say Stark? Is it because it's like a lot of land and woodsy out there?
I was thinking that was a part of it. Like it's like remote, woodsy, wild.
So you would be a Northern House for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, but I don't know.
Maybe
Me and
not
Anthony
the
are
Starks.
from New York. I feel like we're from the north. We're from the cold.
Okay. True.
I've thought about like which house I would want to be in, or which like I like Dorne a lot, and I feel like
Dorne is
I
cool,
could pull
too.
the Italian card and be like, we're the Dornish.
You could be House Martell. Although, yeah, you could be. You don't look. You're pretty pale for House Martell.
Right. If I lived in what's it called? In Dorne, then maybe I'd have a tan or something. But what I mean to say is I just like their like, you know, how they deal with everything Westeros. Like there's the Seven Kingdoms, but like Dorne is not really part of it.
It's not really part of it.
They're like, fuck you guys.
Dorne is the Soprano family to the five families.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And they fucking hate Targaryens, so
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess everyone wants to be Targaryen.
Yeah. I don't think I would be Targaryen. I could see Baratheon, man. I hate it. Everyone wants to give me Baratheon just because they're wild and crazy.
Oh, how about House Umber?
Ooh.
Remember the
The
Umbers?
Giants
who?
are their sigil for you, Cody.
For you. Or the Mormonts. They have a bear as their sigil.
Of Bear Island. Yeah, that's true. You could be of House Mormont of Bear Island.
Nice. Okay.
I can see Cody being the Night's Watch commander.
I think I would be like a Tarly.
You would be a Tarly?
Yeah.
Huh. I'm surprised you would put yourself in the Tarly house, honestly.
I don't want to. Why? They're actually, other than Sam, they're not like a bitch house by any means. The Tarlys have been around since Aegon's conquest.
No, I'm just saying, I thought you would put yourself in House Lannister.
I could see you as a Lannister.
Yeah, I was going to put Lannister for you.
Can't really relate. They're like literally blonde-haired, rich white people.
You're from New Rochelle.
my family isn't like blonde-haired, waspy people. They're
But they're
Jews
also
from
not.
Queens. So that's what he based that off. I don't know, dude. I don't even have an ounce of colonizer in me. You're fucking white and Italian. Cody's white.
So you're from Essos or Bravos? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm a Colombian Jew. I feel like I have more. Oh, yeah. I have more Essos vibes. Oh, I would be a Bravosi, dude. Fucking dye
Bravosi,
my beard blue and be like, ah, ha, ha. Like
You're from the Free
Sir
Cities.
Belwas Strong or whatever. Remember that guy?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Strong Belwas, that's the name. Dude, there were so many cool characters that Game of Thrones never touched.
Yeah. It seems like they're doing all these spin-offs. They're doing a sea snake. So they're doing a spin-off for the sea snake. He's going to get his own show.
I don't know if I really care about that. That sounds a little too much.
It's going to be when he's younger, and in the book they talk a lot about his adventures. Like he's the greatest. He's in the history of Westeros. There's no better sea captain in all of history.
Yeah.
So there's definitely going to be things where like you're saying there should be an anthology of like different parts of Westeros or different histories of Westeros, but like that could easily be him going to Bravos and Essos and seeing lands and people we don't really get to see so much in Game of Thrones, you know?
I want to see like a shy and the more magical side of the Game of Thrones universe.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Like where every episode is just straight magic.
Nice.
Children of the Forest.
Yeah, this show didn't really have too much magic except for
the dragons.
The dragons and also the White Worm. Like she's kind of like a red priestess in a way. Like she has those Melisandre vibes a little bit. Like she knows something or could, you know, like she doesn't have magic.
She
but
has Lord Varys vibes because of all her little spies.
Ooh, yeah. That makes sense too.
Yeah.
Dude, I loved Varys.
Yeah, Varys, both in the books and the show, is one of my favorite characters. In the books, I really liked Varys.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
Yeah,
and the way he died in the show was so fucking stupid.
Yeah, dude. I feel like in the books, he's not even close to dying in the books. Like, that dude is a mastermind.
Yeah. There's no way he dies just by getting burned by...
Yeah, I agree.
It's so
They
stupid.
should have never killed Varys off. I don't know why.
Even the actor was like, that was so dumb.
Because in the books, dude, that dude has contingency plans for contingency plans. You find out
like,
that he's
why
like,
would that be?
You find out like Loki, as far as plot goes, he's almost the entire mastermind of why the book happens. Like this dude is pulling strings.
And also in the books, like it's something the show's never like created. Like they totally ignored this part of the story. But in the books, there's a young kid named Aegon.
Yeah.
When Daenerys is like still going to Westeros, like there's another Targaryen apparently out there that Varys has like been learning about and like is trying to get him to Westeros before Daenerys or something to install him as the true heir.
Well, he shepherded him off and then he put like a baby. So when the mountain like famously kills the baby, it's actually not
the
Targaryen kid, it's some other baby.
Yeah. I forgot that part about it.
And then he goes, and then Aegon gets raised by Roose Cunnington.
Bruce Connington, yeah, the Red Rooster or some
Who
shit.
in the book is the one that has grayscale, not Jorah Mormont.
Yeah, right.
They mix those two storylines.
Yeah, exactly.
I
So,
know all kinds of shit.
that could also be a Varys plot, though. Varys could be making all of that up just to get power.
That's true.
That's not as they still don't know if it's true or not. Like, you never could trust anybody. Everyone's plotting and scheming.
Yeah, I like that about both. I liked when Alicent realized that they've been had plans for this the entire time.
Yeah. She was like, "You guys have been plotting." It also like shows her like how naive she was about playing the game. Like, dude, your dad has been plotting while you've been plotting. You know what I mean? Like he's plotting. With you, plotting.
He's been
plotting.
plotting. Yeah, he's been 3 steps ahead every step of the way.
Yeah.
For now.
So, what are we gonna give it? How many Joe Peasies?
6.
I agree, man. I'm loving it. To be like, I've loved every episode, and I've just had a thoroughly. Also, like, it won me back. It's like cool. I'm down to see more. Also, you know what was cool? We never touched about it. Okay, first episode opens, airs, everything. Not a single song playing. It just opens smack into it. There isn't even like a cool little like introduction. Second episode opens with the OG song, and everyone's like, like when you saw like Avengers Endgame in theaters, and everyone went crazy when Thor comes down to Wakanda. It would be like that when you heard the original Game of Thrones theme song playing. Like everyone's like,
Yeah.
Like
I didn't mind that they used the same song. Like that didn't bother me.
I like it because it sets it even more. It's like, well, this is not the show Game of Thrones. This is a Game of Thrones product or universe.
Yeah. It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So I'm giving it 6 Joe Peasies.
6.
Thanks.
Okay, I do want to say something. I'm going to take off. I'm not going to give it perfect because I have to wait 2 goddamn years. Fuck
That's
you.
stupid. That has nothing to do with the thing that aired.
Yeah,
We're talking about the final product.
What do you mean 2 years?
You're subtracting 2 points
The next, no, 0.2.
for the next season? That's crazy.
Because the next season won't be out in 2 years.
Yeah, but that doesn't affect
Oh, damn, I didn't know
this
that.
one.
I feel like,
Yeah.
okay, fine, 6.
That's malarkey.
But I'm pretty upset about it. And like, we'll have a hard time staying focused for 2 years. Get out of here.
No, I think I'll be fine.
Okay, fair enough. I think I would have to. I gotta give it a 6. I mean, just the fact that, like, again, that it made me interested in Game of Thrones again was enough for me to just be like, holy shit, okay, it was good. Like, I really swore off Game of Thrones after season 8. I was like, fuck this shit.
They lost a lot of loyal watchers.
Yeah, but I'm glad I came back, and it seems like everyone kind of felt the same way. They hated that, but like this.
Oh man, I do have another beef.
Uh-oh.
What?
There's too many scenes when like the shooting is too dark. Like apparently, like they did.
Oh, that's true.
Okay, so I keep hearing mixed things about that. About it.
There were some pretty fucking dark scenes.
Okay, well, the weird thing is that episode once again where the kid mounts the dragon. It was clearly shot during the daytime, but it was edited to look like it was nighttime with the full moon in post production. So that looked super off because it was clearly obvious they filmed it during the daytime. But also, this is like how like a lot of my people, like my friends who are like editors and whatnot in the industry feel like. It's that y'all some broke ass bitches and your TV isn't that good. Like a lot of people watch it on their laptops or on their cell phones. Like, oh, it's so dark. And it's like, it's not really meant to be watched like that. So
no, that wasn't the issue.
Sorry. I think it was.
I mean,
it was, I wasn't watching it on a laptop. I was watching it on my TV.
I don't know. I didn't mind. I would say the darkness only applies to that one episode with the dragon.
That was the worst of it. Yeah, for sure. Like
it was still there in a couple other scenes.
No, I agree with Cody. It was pretty dark. I don't care what you say about your editor friends.
I'm just saying,
it was fucking
dark. Sounds like y'all got some bad lighting. You need to fix your brightness settings. That's all. It's a technical issue.
So are you taking any points off though for that, Cody?
Nah, I won't. But I do hope they fix it.
That's hilarious.
That's a fucking 6.
Yeah. Say
Oh shit. That's just hard.
Hell yeah. Yeah. So 666. You did it, God. House of the Dragon, or as my roommate likes to call it, Hot D.
Hot D, nice.
D, dude.
Dude, I've never been hornier for incest than when watching House of the Dragon.
I agree. Incest is cool in the show.
Who wasn't rooting for Rhaenyra and Daemon to finally?
This show literally makes you like root for the incest people.
Yeah.
It makes you twisted.
Yeah, it makes you question your own morals.
Yeah. Oh, God. Question your own morals.
I take it back. Cody's definitely a Targaryen.
Oh, yeah.
So listen to this episode around Thanksgiving, maybe if you want. It's a nice family episode. Dragon.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else we're forgetting?
Anyone else? Like character-wise?
Not really. I think we touched on the biggins.
The biggins.
The biggins. I'm excited for season 2. I'm there. I didn't know it was going to take 2 years, but that's whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, it's pretty upsetting, honestly.
You're pretty upsetting.
If it's going to be quality stuff, let him take 2 years. I mean, it looked great. There was no CGI. I was like, whoa, that looks, like that wasn't an issue in this show. That's for sure.
Yeah.
CGI takes time. Those dragons looked good. They need time to make those dragons look like...
The dragons looked hella cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just 2 years is so long.
Tell to the CGI artists slaving away at HBO, Cody.
Yeah. Tell it to their kids as they're crying. And they're
Tell
like,
to their
where's my
kids.
dad?
I need some dragons.
We need some more hot D stat.
Yeah. We make dragons fucking each other.
So should we call this episode George R.R. Martin presents Hot D?
I'm down.
Hot D. Hell yeah.
Yeah, well, that was another episode of Comics and Chronic. I am one of your hosts, Jacob H. You already know who's with me. The Hot D boys themselves.
Me, Anthony, and Cody.
Anthony and Cody.
Cody and Anthony. And Jake.
Hot D gets a 666 in our books.
Always has.
All right, well, peace, y'all.
Hi, you're listening to Comics and Chronic, and I'm Jacob H.
I'm Cody Cannon.
And I'm Anthony Iannaccio.
And you can tune in every Thursday to hear new episodes of Comics and Chronic.
And make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Comics and Chronic. That's Comics, the letter N, Chronic.
We'll see you guys next week.
Woo!
Peace.